from RG Internationals, and I have come up with some writing skills. And what do we have in IELTS as writing? They are bifurcated into two parts, that is task 1 and task 2. First, let's go up with starting with the brief introduction. You'll get overall 60 minutes for the entire writing task. Take 20 minutes for writing task 1 because the weightage is from band 3. The bands are bifurcated from 9, so 3 is for task 1 and 6 is for task 2. So the weightage is less in the task 1. You have to write minimum 150 words. Since the repeated words are not counted, prefer to the writing to write 170 words or more than. You can write that. I'm just going to explain you the criteria of the marking, as called as marking criteria, and I have already written on the board, and they are the 4 marking criteria, which is very essential right in task 1 and task 2 both. So we're starting with task 1. What do I mean by task achievement? I will give you a brief introduction about all these 4 points because this is very essential while you're doing your writing section. Task achievement means that you have to time yourself for 20 minutes, the words counted, and you got to write something relevant when you're writing about your task achievement. You are going to organize your entire task in this. Coherence and cohesion. Coherence means that you're going to write logical paragraphs, like they are bifurcated into 2 to 3 paragraphs, and the first paragraph is called the introduction, which has to be being paraphrased. We'll be telling you what is paraphrasing. Writing not in, you're not going to copy down the questions, you're going to paraphrase. That means you're going to write in your own words. And coherence is writing logical paragraphs, introduction, body 1, 2, and either you can write a conclusion because in the second body you're going to write the overall. Cohesion is a language. It is called as a cohesive language where you have to use, for example, if I use while, although, all this comes into the cohesive language. Coming to the next part is lexical resources, lexical range and lexical resources. We call it as the vocabulary. The vocabulary here, what we are going to teach you, like when you write went up, what is the word you write exactly, like dramatically, increased, all these words come into the lexical resources. Grammatical range and accuracy. When I say grammatical range and accuracy, obviously if you're writing in English, you're writing a grammar. But coming up again to the task 1, I'm going to say that we are going to ultimately write some logical things because we are ultimately writing a math in task 1 because we are going to write some amounts, proportions, and we call it as grammatical range and accuracy. The accuracy comes down there in task 1 with your entire grammatical range. All these 4 points are going to be versed in your complete task 1. I'm going to tell you about how many graphs do we have. There are different types of graphs asked in your writing task 1 for academic. Students like, we can say you are supposed to write bar graph, pie chart, column graph, process chart, table chart. For all these things, you just have task 1 for the academic ones. This was only for the academics. Coming up to the next, we have also one more process of GT, that is called as general training, and that is for the PR people. And they do not write a graph, they write a letter. And there are 3 types of letters to be written. The first letter is the formal, second is informal, and the third one is the semi-formal letter. Again, we have a format where you have to follow all these marking criteria. This is all about task 1, which you are supposed to write up. I'll switch to task 2. And task 2, you can take 40 minutes for completion of task 2. But what is included in writing task 2 is all about essay writing. The same way you did in your schools. You have to keep in mind that we used to write essays in the schools, but now here when it comes to IELTS, we are supposed to work on more of your coherence and cohesion and your lexical range and grammatical accuracy. There are different formats for the essay type, but the basic format remains the same for every essay type. That is introduction, bodies, 1, 2, 3, and a conclusion is a must. You are supposed to write 250 words, but it always is better that you write 270 to 300. You can exceed to. So the minimum word length is maintained. Let's come up to some things which are very essential in your task 2. Like I'm going to just figure out about the main grammatical range. What I'm going to talk about here is the simple sentence. For example, the prompt is sugar. The government should tax for sugary drinks. Now, first thing what I'm going to talk about is my simple sentence would be, this is my prompt, okay? Sugar makes people unhealthy. If I have to paraphrase this and make it more simpler. Second is people gain weight from sugar. Third, I can say sugar harms people's teeth. Now, this is all simple sentences. Now, there are various words that you can use to make a complex sentence. The words are like after, although, because, before, even if, even though, etc. Let's talk about the complex sentences now. My sentence would be, government should tax sugary drinks. This is my question. Now I go for complex sentence because sugar makes people unhealthy. So this was a complex sentence which I used. We also have compound sentence. We use conjunctions. Now what are conjunctions? In, but, all these sentences come into the conjunctions. So the answer to make it into a compound sentence, what I made from the complex sentence would be, sugar makes people unhealthy and it harms their teeth. So this is all about your sentences. Coming to the next part, what you have to take care about is that you write passive voice when you're writing your task 2 and what it is. So what is a passive sentence? As we know, it is active and passive. Let's make a common sentence. How do it? So we call, even this passive sentence is called as a reverse sentence. So active voice could be, food scientists know that sugary drinks are addictive. How would I make this into a passive voice? Sugary drinks are known to be addictive. This is my passive voice. This is how we are going to write our task 2. To get on more, you can come over. We can give you a deep knowledge about the writing part with more instructions and a personal touch and a care. Thank you for watching this.